welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for videos like this.
Er is dus brandweer gekomen omdat er een duif of een meeuw hangt, maar aan een draadje of zo. Maar hij zweeft in de lucht. Hij leeft nog. Ja. Wat is dit, joh?
Glitch in the Matrix. Gee, I almost fainted.
Look it up in the dictionary. Aton was the Aton, was the sun god in Egypt. And so the Jews called that the Tetragrammaton. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, well, Tetragrammaton is the name of God in its most holiest form, but you cannot use his name, his real name. So the name of God is Aton, because Tetragrammaton is tetra, which means four, gramma, which means a letter, like you write A, B, C, those are letters. So tetra is four, gramma is a letter, A-T-O-N, Tetragrammaton. But the Jews will tell you today, ask any Jewish rabbi or any Jews, what's the name of God? And they said, no, we can't use that. Can't use his name. Well, what do you call him then? We call him Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton, A-T-O-N. And then everywhere around the world, and every synagogue you will ever go into in any country of the world, you will always see God's name inside a sun. Always. As the rabbi explained to me, the Jews were not monotheistic, they were heno, spelled H-E-N-O, henotheistic. Henotheistic means choosing one God from a group.
Of several.
Of several.
And who gave God his name?
Marina tem mais de 2 metros d'água e deixa o arrastador lá pra baixo. Chamo muito mal, tá me ouvindo? Qualquer coisa. A gente se encontrou lá no Reino dos Céus. A festa vai ser grande quando você chegar e eu vou estar lá pra gente ser com o Salvador, o Messias. Tá me ouvindo? Eu te amo, Mar. Te amo muito. Obrigado.
Just imagine. Prayers up.
The ones that are blessed are the ones who are peaceful and meek and who actually arrive at the top chakra through the heart chakra and activate them. The third eye and the crown chakra. Good way to activate the chakras is to call their names. Starting from the bottom chakra, Lam, L-A-M. Then Vam, Ram, Yam, and then Hum. Then Om, and then silent. So Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om, and silence, and those are the 7 chakras. So this is a way to activate them. Another way would be to chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 16 words which correspond with the 16 petals of the throat chakra. So when you use your voice, you're using the most powerful tool you have to ascend, to be a mystic. It's the voice. This is why chanting was so important, because the voice brings you to heaven. The voice is sound. The vocal cords are Horus, the larynx is Osiris, and the lungs are Isis, according to the Egyptians. Isis is the lungs, the larynx is Osiris, but the vocal cords, the word of God, is Horus, and Horus is Jesus.
Don't let fear chain you. Start chanting and watch the universe shift. Reggae al sancocho. Nah, that's just Remy the head chef.
How many of you have been looking for something and you can't find it? I know I put it right there. It was right there. Where did it go? Then the next day or so you go back, there it is. But it has just gone into another dimension where that didn't exist at that time. So you're constantly moving back and forth between these dimensions and you don't even know it. That's the interesting thing about this. But they said it's perfectly normal. There's nothing to worry about. You can't control it anyway. Like he said, you get stuck there, because you're stuck here anyway. Okay, but this comes around to the UFO things. That's why I wanted you to understand about dimensions. When I first began this, I had so many cases of missing time. To me, the most interesting are condensed time rather than missing time. But I'm going to be talking about both of them. Yeah, I'm going back to the simple stuff, but a lot of you have probably never heard this anyway. We're getting more complicated material instead. I've had many cases of missing time.
We're shifting realities every second.
Whoever is farting, don't fart, please. It smells bad.
That accent makes it 10 times funnier.
There's a theory why they actually took down TikTok for that little period.
Why?
Apparently, like, they didn't even have to ban, or they didn't have to take it down.
Okay.
Because they never got like a notice from the government saying, yo, let's take it down. So them taking it down was almost the litmus test to see how it would go.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Now, the theory is the reason they did that, though, was because there's too many real conspiracies on the app that were becoming way too popular.
Okay.
And they just wanted to reset everybody's algorithm.
Word.
So a lot of people on TikTok right now, they're saying they used to have all of these TikToks of conspiracy theories, LA fires, Diddy, Luigi, and there was so much at once.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stop that from becoming popularized if that's what's going viral, right? So what happens to everyone's For You page? Goes deeper and deeper into conspiracy, into almost like breaking down government secrets.
Because that's what the algorithm would feed that person.
Exactly. And it's popularizing that mindset of looking like that.
That's crazy. They just don't want man's informed. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So what people are saying was that reset was to make everybody's For You page different.
Okay.
And to change everyone so that they can just push more whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy because like usually I do my research on TikTok before I come in the podcast, like some YouTube, some TikTok, but like directly TikTok. And there are some conspiracy theorists that I usually like take like I research stories from. And yo, you have to, it's like they're shadow banned. Like you got to search for them. I actually had to search up his profile, like his whole name, type in his whole name.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Cap or not?
What would you do if $6 million suddenly appeared in your bank account? New Zealand authorities say that's exactly what happened to a local couple who ran a gas station. Now, some of the money is gone. The gas station is closed, and the couple has disappeared. Investigators say the accidental millionaires withdrew some of the money and vanished. Police fear that they may have fled the country with the cash, and they've called in an international intelligence agency to help track the couple down.
The investigation has highlighted that the individuals involved in that business account has left New Zealand. We're currently conducting inquiries through Interpol.
Mistakes of any sort are not a welcome thing for any bank to go through. The magnitude of this as well is very disappointing for the bank.
Westpac says it considers the money to be stolen. Neither the bank nor the authorities are releasing the couple's identities. They just say they want the money back.
And they said stolen? And don't be scared, they're just looking for a new friend.
¿Cuáles son los síntomas en las personas quienes estén siendo afectadas por estas entidades?
Bien, yo hablo de desequilibrio humano, desequilibrio emocional. Todo desequilibrio emocional desde el punto de vista mínimo es por acción de estas entidades. Todo desequilibrio emocional mínimo tiene una conexión mental mínima. Eso hay que entrar a reconocerlo como algo que no te pertenece. En mi libro yo hablo de que la mínima turbulencia mental del ser humano no le pertenece. Está relacionado con un mínimo desequilibrio emocional, no le pertenece al ser humano. El problema es que ese aspecto viene a convertirse en patologías más adelante con el pasar del tiempo. Las personas comienzan a enfrentar circunstancias y adversidades. Las personas comienzan a enfrentar problemas de todo tipo, incluso de salud. Toda la adversidad es producto de la acción de estos seres porque ellos manejan muy bien el entorno. Ellos necesitan de ese desequilibrio porque una vez pases tú un día pésimo, triste, aburrido, con depresiones, con mal genio y hayas tenido un día de esas características, la energía que produce esos desequilibrios emocionales es electrofísica, es electroplasmática, es una energía densa que a nivel celular es muy pero muy pesada. Esa energía en la noche es extraída por estos seres. Es una labor cotidiana, titánica incluso, de estos reptiles, en la que todas las noches a los seres humanos, sobre todo aquellos que han pasado un mal día y que han tenido problemas, esa energía que significa ese mal día es extraída en la noche a través de sus dispositivos que ellos colocan. El ser humano es abducido, extraen esa energía, le programan qué es lo que va a pasar al día siguiente. Por eso las personas se acuestan con una proyección para el otro día y se levantan haciendo otra cosa. Generalmente estas personas, o la mayoría de los seres humanos, se despiertan a las 3 de la mañana y es porque a esa hora lo sueltan. Entonces, las características para poder identificar la influencia de estas entidades demoníacas, que no son sino reptiles, que no son sino grises, metalianos, espectros holográficos, es el desequilibrio emocional visto desde el punto de vista mínimo incluso. No puedes darle margen a estas entidades, no puedes. O eres o no eres, así de simple.
Mind blowing, right? I'll wait for your comments.
No, this is not photoshopped, and people's heads will all start to morph into this.
I have a dent, bro. I have a dent. It's a indent, bro. You don't.
Scientists predicted that many internet users will all have mutilated heads in the near future, and their heads will dent. However, this is no longer a prediction and is now happening across the world. People were terrified when Twitch streamer Curtis had shaved his head for charity.
Dude, the shaver's working like a champ. Dude, I have like an indent right here. This is where my headphones go. I have a fucking headphone indent in my head?
Curtis was terrified to see the start of a dent. Oh, but there's more, because it didn't just stop there.
Am I retired from TikTok?
All of these rich people and all of these people that are connected with people in power, they know something that we don't. Do you ever hear about the Doomsday maps? Gordon Michael Scallion. Now, people called him like a prophet because he would predict things that happen in the world. And one of the visions that he had was about the world and how the world would look in the future. He drew up a map, what the world would look like in the distant future. Pretty much all of California is underwater. Around Florida, the tide has gone over, and there's a huge, look, it almost looks like a river in between America now, right? Yo, Ontario is cooked. Toronto, we're cooked. If you take this map, and if you look at the land that specifically all the billionaires been buying, and one of the billionaires being Bill Gates, I think he owns the majority of farmland in America right now, and everybody's moving to Texas. Why? Look how Texas looks.
It's dry, fam.
And history is repeating itself. And those drinks getting warm.
No one is talking about this, but there was an explosion at the LA Convention Center about an hour and a half ago. It was a bomb.
The guys at the apartment said there was a loud bomb that they heard earlier.
Like the whole thing is completely fucking blocked off. And no one has given us any information at all. An explosion. No one has any information on what happened.
If you know what happened,
It was an hour.
Fish combo.
God damn, when you gotta go on here to come on and get me. I'm so ready to down go. Hungry as a.
Who did your toes?
Who?
Who did your feet?
American Nails down there off the slapping.
Baby.
Let me see the entire person.
It's the whole city. Okay, you guys, I'm kind of freaking out and it's hard for you to see it, but if you look closely at the city, watch, all of the lights are gonna suddenly start blinking. It's throwing me off so much. I hope that you guys can see it through the rain. Look at that. Do you guys see that?
Is the power grid next in their plan? They're both safe, but hey, she was on the phone. Congrats, you're just getting sued.
Mas esse tá em cima do mar. Esse tá fazendo que aí no mar sozinho, meu Deus. Será que é o Moisés? O mundo mesmo já tá no fim, hein? O pai tá cobarde dele no meio da água.
He's clearly walking on the water.
Mudah-mudahan jangan kok dia bro. Lihat, orang bantu ni.
I don't want to find out.
The house. What the? Dog. You don't believe this. What the? Damn.
He's going to be so confused when he wakes up.
People are freaking out because this was just spotted on Google Maps in Los Angeles with the words help, traffic, LAPD and federal written in the debris. Plus Spanish words terremotos. It's surrounded by shipping containers because it's located next to a shipping yard. People are very concerned that there may be people there that need help. These are the coordinates here. Tons of people have been visiting and talking to locals and they found the help signs that seem to be easily accessed through a hole in the fence which is right by a busy road. But on Google Maps, people spotted tunnels that no longer seem to be there. These two guys apparently went to the site and found big piles of rubble where the tunnels were. They found these air conditioning units still spinning and they found these things that kind of look like cells. They also found a pile of stuff with toys, clothing, socks, some medication with like Spanish writing on it. And amongst a bunch of videotapes with Spanish writing on them, they found one tape that said, please present to another person. I'm keeping an eye out for updates from these guys from the vault and also from other people.
What excuses they're gonna come up with? And Wu was expecting something.
This is a real thing, but they haven't done it. Okay. Scientists say diamond dust could offset climate change. So they sprinkle diamond dust everywhere in the sky.
Diamond dust? What does that do? Is it just like
reflects the sun, I guess?
So what do you think of cloud seeding?
Oh,
do I even want to get that started? Well, I'm just going to tell you this. My wife Andrew and I, this past weekend, we were walking the beach and our throats got all weird and we started to cough. There was a mist across the beach coming in off
fog. We've just been talking about
it. Looked like fog, but it made us cough and hack.
Well, people have been talking about they're calling it weird fog, and some of it is making people sick.
That's super strange.
No, we were at Captiva, walked out on the beach, and we were there for like 10 seconds, and immediately I felt it in my throat, and I started to cough. It like when it went into my lungs, it made me cough.
What in the world?
It was very strange.
I'm just getting you some diamonds, babe. Breathe in those diamonds.
Breathe in the diamonds.
Is that the Project Smart Dust?
Lo que tengo que hacer por este...
All right, let's get it.
Este te va a costar una feria.
Hell no. No, we're about to fix her lineup. That's just already Damn.
Hijos de la chingada.
Shit, it's already coming out clean, crispy.
¿Qué hicieron?
Damn, man, that's better than mine. ¿Cómo te gustó?
Hijos de la... Ahora sí les voy a pegar los dos. ¿Qué hicieron con mi cabeza? Te pasaste de lanzón así, mira nomás.
Mama cuz, hey, enjoy your mom while you have her. Unexpected ending. And I hope it was just a planned demolition.
What do you think is driving the obesity epidemic? It's being driven by poison food, ultra-processed wheat, sugar, and flour, seed oils, soy, canola, sunflower, and then, wheat and corn, which are, heavily subsidized. So those 90% of farm subsidies, the crop insurance, etc., go to those three categories of soy, corn, and wheat. And those are the feedstocks for all of our processed foods. They turn into sugar. They're all nutrient barren. The original crops were nutrient rich, but the GMO crops are nutrient barren, and they're heavily dependent on pesticides. The reason GMOs are so popular is because they are resistant to pesticides like glyphosate. So you can saturate the whole landscape with glyphosate from airplanes, and that the only thing that's green is GMO corn, which is Roundup Ready. It's called Roundup resistant corn. Glyphosate is also used as a desiccant, which means it dries out wheat, so it's sprayed on the wheat right at harvest, which means it's going right into the food. And when that began in 1993, that's when you saw all the appearance of all these gluten allergies and celiac disease and wheat allergies that you don't have in Europe. You can eat spaghetti here and you're going to get eczema and all of these stomach complaints. Then you go to Italy and you eat it and you get thin.
Mm-hmm. Stay away from processed food.
Mira, verdad, para que no haya que te miento ni que estoy loco. No hay ningún perro, ¿verdad? Y mira. ¿Lo ves? Y no hay ningún perro. No hay ningún perro. Dios. Y me sigue.
So what'd you guys think?
Bruh.
And that's the safest zoo ever.
Another amazing natural healing story. As you guys know, I love these stories. This guy got cancer in his pancreas. That is baking soda water. I've had hundreds of DMs, and I always say don't discount baking soda water. So instead of doing the chemo, he opted to do a more natural route he found online. He was drinking baking soda water an hour after eating. He was also ingesting honey to rebuild the gut health, to rebuild his immune system. As you can see, there's the honey, there's the baking soda. I should mention too, he was taking cannabis oil for pain and also because it's anti-cancer. So he stuck to this route for a couple months. And then when he actually went to the doctor, I'm 100% cancer free. So he called the news station, and this is actually a news report of him explaining his way of beating it. Baking soda changes our pH, it alkalines the body. It's been shown time and time again to at least help with cancer. So I love stories like this, you guys.
They don't want you to know those grandma recipes.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory around the Mandela effect?
About erasing history?
Yes. This woman gave the example of the Fruit of the Loom logo. She said the Fruit of the Loom logo used to have a cornucopia in it. So, you know, like the basket with all the fruit spilling out. Fruit of the Loom was like, we've never ever had that. And they went so far as to create an illustration of their logo all throughout the years, none of them showing the cornucopia.
That's impossible.
This chick went so crazy about it. Like, she was talking to her therapist, and her therapist is like, chill out about Fruit of the Loom. You're obviously so manic. She was like, I'm not kidding. It has a cornucopia in it, and I'm gonna die on this hill. She went through her whole closet and like friends' closets and stuff, and she finally found a t-shirt that had the Fruit of the Loom logo with a cornucopia.
No way!
And she went as far as to go look at the old like trademarks and stuff and found an illustration of the cornucopia.
Dude, what is up with that? Why are they gaslighting us?
The theory is it's a giant experiment, worldwide experiment, to see how easy it is to erase history.
I mean, that's 100% probably a real thing.
Yeah.
And they just had certain brands that opt up for it or something. Or if they're like, you know, man.
So be stubborn.
For real.
Yeah. It's Bernstein Bears.
High-level manipulation.
I think they set us up. Really? You think somebody was behind these fires? I truly believe that something, because in 15 minutes in Malibu, they cut off the power every time. Every time. And I'm fighting fires all night long, and everybody's lights are on. I'm just wondering if you had a plan to get out. I had a plan to jump in the ocean, and that was the plan, because I was going to stay there because that was all my money in that house, and I wasn't going to deal with Malibu permitting and coastal commission, and I was so what I just went through to get this house, I was 3 weeks from being fully done. Yeah. And it's amazing because you just heard we had a guest on who said, can you imagine having to rebuild in the Palisades with all the regulations and all the insurance things you have to go through? To get insurance now is going to be impossible.
Land grab big time.
We don't trust you. We don't want to put our life at stake. Please leave us. Don't want to go. Aerobase has to be connected. Please understand. Are you everyone listen to you. You don't listen.
Just crazy.
Breaking, video shows drone setting Los Angeles on fire. Chaos has taken over Los Angeles, and now a new video is fueling even more controversy. The footage shows a drone flying over the edge of a forested area, releasing a flammable liquid directly onto the vegetation, igniting an uncontrollable inferno. The video, recorded by a witness from a distance, reveals how the device appears to act deliberately, targeting strategic areas to maximize the fire's spread. What started as an isolated blaze quickly consumed hectares of forest, forcing entire neighborhoods to evacuate and leaving thousands in panic. While some have suggested the video might be fake, witnesses at the scene confirmed seeing the drone in action. It moved fast, almost like it knew exactly where to cause the most damage, shared a resident who narrowly escaped. Is this video evidence of a carefully orchestrated plan? Who is behind this attack on Los Angeles? Uncertainty continues to grow as residents struggle to rebuild their lives amid this night.
Logical explanation?
How many of you have ever seen a violet ray? You know what it is? An old, it's a Tesla coil, basically, that has associated with it a glass electrode that, at least in its early days, was supposed to have the rare gas argon in it. And it puts out a violet-colored high-intensity electrical current, which Edgar Cayce used to say was good for a number of problems, including baldness. And if you touch a violet ray device, or a person who is touching a violet ray device, and you can move this down 2 or 3 people and hold in your other hand a fluorescent light bulb, it lights up. And that's kind of impressive looking, to see somebody holding a fluorescent light up here, shining light out, and not have any electricity connected to it directly. And I try to get people to understand this interconnection of electricity and electromagnetism and our connections one with another, and to demonstrate the effect of touching the human body with an electromagnetic generator and how it changes the output from electronic equipment. And so we put on these little things to try to just get people to be aware of electromagnetism. There is some excellent evidence in Europe that learning is accelerated in the presence of music. It chose to use music as a conditioning tool to help people relax and get into a state in which they're programming healing. I want you to understand that we didn't give them a tape player and send them home. We had 3 marvelous musical vibrating beds, one of which today is now selling for $43,000. I thought it was bad when it was $26,000. The Baytar, and it is marvelous. It's got this sort of bed that hangs down in space by chains from a geodesic dome with 20 speakers in the room. It looks like a little radio transmitting station, and your whole body vibrates with the music, to say the least. The sound is wonderful, the vibration is excellent, and it's enough to put almost anybody in a trance. Person got 10 sessions of music on a vibrating bed, plus another 20 hours of the same kind of music in a room that we created specially several years ago for its sound effects. We put crushed quartz crystal under the carpet, and where in all the places there's plaster, there's crushed quartz crystal. The whole building has been energized with quartz crystal. And if you're standing in the middle of this room with these marvelous speakers going, you actually can feel the music coming up through your feet. They were given either glass or quartz, and they were told, of course, that it would be a double-blind study. Nobody would know who was getting what. It would be arbitrarily assigned. 202 people altogether. And in 3 of the groups, just to satisfy my curiosity, I just took out 2 hands full of one of glass and one of quartz and mixed them up. Nobody knew which was which. And I asked people to choose their own. It was quite interesting to me. Half the people chose glass. They didn't know the difference. And we did this in a little ceremony when they got their crystal, of passing the crystal through a candle flame and mentally releasing any stored electromagnetic energy in the crystal, programming what they wanted into the crystal. And we spent a lot of time with each individual getting them to focus on what they wanted. It had to be short, not more than 6 words. It had to have a high emotional meaning to them and an image that they could build with it. And then they would create the image and the words in their minds and will it and blow out into the crystal 3 times in a row. And then the crystal was worn in a white satin, bridal satin pouch around the neck. They were to reprogram the crystal every morning for 2 weeks minimum. We chose 8 pieces of music. Obviously, we could have left the music open, but arbitrarily I decided that we would restrict the music to 4 classical pieces and 4 New Age pieces. The New Age pieces that we chose were Stephen Halpern's Spectrum Suite, which is specifically intuitively created as music to balance the chakras. And each person then had multiple experiences with their choice of music on the music bed, in the music room, and when they finished, they had agreed to program their crystal and to use the tapes a minimum of 20 minutes twice a day, that's all, for a minimum of 3 months. That was the agreement when we started the research project. I don't think I tried. I was neutral. I really did not believe. I had no faith that crystals would be any better than glass. I knew that music conditioning and electrical stimulation transcranial, which they got every morning while they were at the clinic, just 10 days of that. I knew those things had to be good for people, but I didn't know whether crystals were any better than glass. And so I think I was as neutral as a person can be. The results, I'm going to refer to my notes so I don't make any mistakes about it. Here are the statistics. The depressed people got more quartz than their fair share. 88 out of 141 depressed people got quartz and only 54 got glass. Of those who got quartz, 70% were still free of their depression 3 months later. That's phenomenal odds. Those who got glass were hardly a placebo, only 31%. Less than half as many. And yet, when we did the statistical analysis, even that was highly statistically significant. In other words, if you look at the changes in their scores, the conditioning program and the electrical stimulation all in itself helps some people with depression. But adding the quartz crystal was phenomenally better. I still have trouble believing it, but it's what we got. The back pain people, and these are all people with very significant back pain problems. 55% of those who got quartz were markedly improved in their pain. Only 23% of those who got glass were markedly improved. That's negative placebo response. Even that was statistically significant at about the 95th percentile. You know how statistics are. You can do anything with them. But the real difference was the quartz crystal compared to everything else. The chances of this happening by chance are less than 1 in 10,000. That's not bad.
And that was pure knowledge. And that's a wrap, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.